Good evening, everybody. It's Lilia from Heal Scotland and Scotland's Wild Medicine. And tonight I've got with me Gemma Collins, or Lady G, who is our very own Wim Hof method instructor, and is going to be at our next 6 festivals. So I wanted Gemma to come on. How are you doing, Gemma? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, and thank you very much for having me here tonight.
Not at all. I wanted to get you on to talk about obviously the Wim Hof method, which, as you know, I am be forever grateful to that man for bringing breath work to the masses, and the fact that they kind of measured his body and thought that he was some kind of freak because of all the things that he could do in ice and all the world records that he could break. And then he was very candid and said, look, everyone can do this. And he really just was on a mission to help people see how powerful they are.
Absolutely. He's so full of love and he's so full of fun. What Wim Hof says is, he's like, let's just get back to child energy, playing. Like, if you actually watch him, he just loves he loves playing his drums, he loves singing his song, he loves his banjo or whatever he's playing, and he just loves the vibration, and he just has one mission, and that is love, absolute love, and that is it. And I want to also mention on that point, when I found Wim Hof, I actually found you not too far away, around about that time as well. And it was like during lockdown. And then it was just like opened my eyes. I became so curious. And then now, yeah, it's like my religion. So yeah, I just love the method. I love the healing. And I'm actually so excited because I'm going to hang out with Wim in September. So that's my birthday present to myself. I'm going to the Pyrenees Mountains to catch up with him.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, that's the great thing, I know there's a cost attached to sort of keeping it all up, but it's so empowering that you just come back recharged, don't you, with all the latest and greatest information. And it just recharges your own batteries. So what will you be doing there? Because obviously you're already trained. What will you actually be doing?
Well, there's actually 4 new studies, and he's been doing a lot more studies for women as well, because his previous studies were mostly male-based, and he's got 4. So I'm just going to rewind. He moved to Australia, and then he's already got a son, but he had a new baby daughter. So he's actually been quite quiet this year, because he's been with his daughter and his family and taking some time for his family, because he gets kind of sick of the PR that try to kind of shoot him down, when really he's saying that, everything's making us sick. We've got a method that's free. So sometimes he gets a wee bit assassinated from other people that are wanting, maybe the pharmaceutical industry and things like that. But we do have 4 new studies, and one of the studies at the moment that I'm studying and learning, and I'll be sharing that eventually, is all about the CB1 receptors in the brain and rewiring the brain itself. And, it's all to do with the vibrations and things like that. So when we go to Spain, it's actually a reunion, so it's not training as such.
Ah, right, nice.
So back a long time ago, Wim Hof was actually an English teacher. And he was in the Pyrenees mountain areas in a place round about, I'm going to try and pronounce it, I think it was pronounced Pamplona, in the Basque country. So we're going to have a reunion out there, and it's just the Wim Hof instructors from all over the world, and it's really quite good to catch up, because you can find out like what's happening in their country. So it's a reunion more than it is teaching, learning and training, although I will come back fully charged. I really will.
Yeah, and with the latest, the thing is, I don't know about you, but it's quite actually hard to keep up with everything the new information that's coming out right now. I'm teaching, as you know, my own breath work, and I'm like, I can't keep up with the rate of understanding the information. Even some slides that I'd used last year, I'm looking at them going, they're not accurate anymore, because we're learning so much. The veil's lifting. We're being exposed to the real wide phenomena of the human body. So things that we thought were true, we're realising now weren't. So it's really important, I think, that you keep up to date with the latest science, because if not, you end up in a place where the people that you're teaching know more about it than you, which is always a wee bit embarrassing, you know.
It's that, you're absolutely right. And what I would like to say on that note is that I have tried all other breathwork techniques, but what I like about the Wim Hof method is it's almost like a chant, and it's so repetitive, and it's also so easy. So see if you genuinely can't get yourself mentally sorted, it's just breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, and then it's just so repetitive. So for me, when I do the Wim Hof method, we had to do like 1,000 case studies on ourselves as part of our training. But like, see if you monitor like your results, for example, if you do your breath work in the morning, afternoon, evening, also that changes depending on the moon and the tides and the water. And then that's changing depending on how you're feeling, whether it's been your diet or your environment, or, you know, so there's no two experiences the same. And that's what I really love about it, because truthfully, it's the only time I feel actually present and centered, and it just brings me to a place of clarity and inner peace, and it's also easy. And actually, you can do a Wim Hof breathwork session, I think, in around about 11 minutes. You know, so sometimes people will say to me, Gemma, I don't have time for like a full half-hour breathwork session. And I'm like, you know what? See if you give yourself wee quick charges of like 11 minutes, you can be absolutely sorted, and there's no need. Well, for me anyway, it means that I don't need to be on an antidepressant or anything like that. And I do suffer with my mental health, and I still do. And it's just my guiding light. And I just want to share it. I'm just so passionate. I'm that passionate, I forgot what you even asked me.
No, I think what you're saying there is absolutely right. You find very often as you get older that it's the simple things that work. And I love that about that method, because it's, as you say, it's just repetitive. And all you have to do is lie down and breathe, and you're going to get the experience. You know, it's my favourite time of the festival. It's the end of the festival. I let you take over, and I just lie down and get high on my own supply. And, you know, I think because of the world we live in, we assume that everybody's tried this breath work, but they haven't. So many people are scared to breathe. Do you find that?
What I will tell you is that, see, when you're leading a breathwork session, Lilia, this is no word of a lie, right? See, when you go over the bridge to go to Skye, for example, I've never felt breathwork like that ever anywhere in the world with anybody, right? So Skye has magic that comes out the ground. When you're doing the collective breathing, I will say that the bigger, the more people that are participating, that I don't know whether it's to do with the heart maths or the elevation or the energy, but you seem to get a different therapy. And it can only be, I was going to say, I personally have only been able to find that at the festivals. It's just a different level of magnificence. How do you describe it? You just cannot.
You can't. You absolutely can't. And that particular one in Skye was like, I mean, remember, there was about 4 of us down the front, but just sat up and we were like, we saw God. It was just, and we all kind of looking at each other, and everybody's just like crying. It was like, oh my actual God, what happened? And obviously, like you, I've done hundreds of breathworks. And, you know, after watching Joe Dispenza's documentary, I thought it's about the power of the numbers. You know, anytime we do anything like that, whether it's in a retreat or whether it's in a festival, the big thing about the festival is you're probably looking at 100 plus people. That's when you really see this, because we're all connected. We're creating that power grid. And so it's the more, and also you've got everybody there wanting the best for everybody.
Exactly. And I wanted to go back to the question. So when I have my community class, let's say at the weekend there, I don't want to talk about any particular person, or, you know, what happens is you can see when people are actually letting themselves go, because you can actually see their full body changing. And, you know, actually as an instructor, as an instructor, you can feed off that. Whereas if somebody's holding themselves back a bit, you're wanting to just, you know, I'm maybe shouting, you know, you're safe, you're protected, you know, all these things, but the people are just holding themselves back because sometimes they're scared. And what I find is that, I mean, whoever God may be, when I really connect and I really get into my mind, my body, my soul and my spirit, and I can see all the lights shining and I can see all this, if you describe that to people, they can be looking at you scared. And you're like, actually, you're away looking for all these answers. You're away buying all these books. You're away, I don't know, spending all this money, right? But the answers are actually deeply within us all. And we shouldn't be scared to look inside to see what they are. And yeah, I would say that if I've got 6 or 7 or 8 people in a class, it's a wee bit more difficult to get the vibration, and especially if somebody's new to it. If you've got people that are experienced and they're just breathing like just going for it, then I honestly feel, especially at the festivals, some people can say, you know, what were you saying? What were you doing? I don't have a clue. I was just working with energy and I was just building it all up and I was feeling it myself. And it's just like, I don't want to say like anything religious, but the only thing I can describe that happens is a source comes into your higher power spirit being, takes over, and you're all of a sudden talking the language of your people.
I 100% agree, because I had a situation down in Bristol. This girl sat up and she said, "What just happened there?" And I was like, "I've got no idea." It's just, you know, it's not about me. There's definitely
it's a channel. It's like a channel of energy. And if you've got a participant, for example, that's just a wee bit unsure, or there's a wee bit of, like, for example, they're holding themselves back, then actually I would say fully in, right? See, if you're fully in, you get the maximum benefit. And see if you're kind of on the fence and you're kind of a bit scared, that I just want to go, come on, let it go. And you're obviously shouting all the time, let it go. I try not to do let it go. I try and use other words. But the fact of the matter is there's so much magic. It's so amazing. And Wim Hof says feeling is understanding. And what he wants us to do as instructors is he doesn't want us to go into all the science, and we don't need to know where the food came from to enjoy it. We just need to taste, and we need to, you know, we just need to enjoy. And what I would say about the Wim Hof method is that although we're trained and although we've got a lot of information, he basically says that if you're doing the breath work and if you're doing it, you know, not correctly, there's no wrong or right, if you like, but see if you actually get fully into that breath, it takes you to where you have to go. It takes the energy where it's to go. It heals where it's to heal. It's just magic. It's
that all you're doing is getting out the way.
Exactly.
The body knows what to do. And as soon as we get into that expanded state, you know, I've spent the last 20 years trying to get people to let go. And now that I can intertwine it with breath work, the results are tenfold, because, you know, nobody really wants to come and sit and let go because they're too scared. I mean, it takes courage. It takes courage to really let go with the breath as well. You tend to find people need 1 or 2 goes at it before they're really going to get laldy. But yeah, when you're in that expansive state and you're really being very motivating and suggestive of what is possible, then it's much easier for the body, quite simply.
It really is. The bodies. I have got a lady who's actually had a heart attack and she's also had a stroke, and she says that she genuinely feels that she's getting a massage of all her organs.
Yeah, of course, because you
and
are.
I'm like, you absolutely are. Like,
if you're
she can actually feel
breathing properly, you are massaging all of these organs. And the big problem is you know, what people are breathing up here. We're not moving. We're sitting all day, and none of this is it gets stagnant and stale. So it's so powerful to use the breath to really, you know, ignite and help the body to detox and get rid of all the crap that doesn't really belong inside there.
Exactly. And Wim Hof's method, right, is 3 pillars. So he's got pillar number 1 is the breath work. I'll be honest, I find the breath work hard going. I feel as if I've just walked into a spin class and I think, right, here we go. But it's like the benefit after it So that, you know, that one there is feeling is understanding, and that's where you can really feel the energy, you can feel the vibration in the room. But my favourite pillar is actually the second pillar, which is the cold water therapy. And then he's got the third pillar, which used to be called commitment, but now it's called mindset. So it's probably the same thing anyway. And what he's doing is, at the moment, we're getting a lot of training in and around the third pillar, which is all true with the mindset. And he's getting to his mindset training, and when he's climbed like his Kilimanjaro and things like that, and also for sports and for endurance and for anything and everything. So you can actually tailor the breath work, or you can tailor the pillars to whatever it is, but essentially it's all the same thing. And it's just about recharging our cells. You'll like that, Lilia. You know, recharge those cells, increase these blood cells, you know, strengthen our immune system, our cardiovascular system, and just feel, honestly, I'm going to say it, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, because that is, we need to create a word that's not even there. But that's the only way I can describe it. And the three pillars combined together have honestly, for my challenges that I've had personally, it's just the only way. But what I will say is, sometimes I don't do the breath work and I'm just doing the cold water therapy. Sometimes I'm more committed with the mindset than others, but just as long as it's a never-ending journey, and I know that this therapy works. Wim Hof says another word, but this therapy works, right? And everybody that's sitting, that's scared to try it, and that is on the fence, and I just think, come on, you need to get into a community breathwork session. You need to walk through those doors one day and just feel it, or even do the cold water therapy. Do it whatever way you want, but just know that deep inside us, as you're always going on about, we can actually heal ourselves.
I know, that's the thing. And it always mystifies me why it's so easy to believe that you can't. And it seems to be so challenging to believe that you can, even though we've got active evidence of that our whole lives, of how the body just heals. And, you know, I was actually talking to somebody today who had broken something. What was it now? Their arm. Anyway, the doctor said, look, I think we can manipulate this back into place without putting in pins. I think it must have been their leg, pins and a plate. So the doctors manipulated it back, and they didn't operate, and it's completely healed. And you're just like going, now, I'm sure there would have been other doctors that they could have seen that would just have operated and put pins and plates in. But I was like, there's things are happening now. People are starting to see things differently, seeing the potential of the body, and things are definitely changing. And I think as we expect more and start to understand that we're a lot more powerful, and we've given a lot of power away to our detriment, that it's really, nobody cares more about our bodies than us, or we should. But what you were talking about there, breath work, it's a workout. And if you're not cardiovascularly fit, I mean, I know when I started it first years ago, in fact, I started it just after my dad died, which was 13 years ago. So, and I remember, like, when's this going to be finished? That's what I was thinking. Like, if you go for a jog, you're just like that. I can't wait till this is over. And then obviously the more you do it, the stronger you get. And, you know, it becomes part of your routine. I mean, I enjoy. I mean, some people say, oh, it's too stressful. It's too much work. Absolutely not. If I'm not breathing like that, I don't get that absolute buzz and that shift in consciousness. That's why I'm doing it. I'll be 100% honest. I love that feeling. So when you're that dynamic breathing, it can be, tiring. So, but it's like anything else, the more you do it. How many times a week would you recommend for people to? Because I know there's loads of stuff on YouTube. I used to do his 10-minute one on YouTube.
The Wim Hof method, for example, how often should you do it? I did have a habit of doing it every single day, but if I told you that I'm doing that just now, I'd be telling lies, right? So I would probably say, in terms of breath work, how often should you do it? Depends on how often you think you should do it. If I was to ask the question, and I remember asking this question in Sky about keeping your body warm, it depends on your mindset as well. Because, for example, if I've not done my breath work for, say, let's just say 6 days, I can feel a dip in my mental health. right? I can feel a dip in just my general motivation, my routine, and I've got to get back to the basics. So let's take Wim Hof out of the equation at the moment, right? If I get up in the morning and then I say, right, okay, I feel best when I have a routine and when I'm eating good, right? So see if I just include my breath work and then my cold water therapy to that, then it just enhances that full day and I'm more productive, I'm more alert, I can concentrate better, especially I must be perimenopausal age or whatever's going on. But if it's not one thing with me, it's another. But I just think to answer that question, I would say as often as you need it, I can feel it after about 6 days. Now, the cold water therapy, this is very interesting because I spoke to Aunt Middleton about this actually. And there's a lot of questions are around the cold water and also freezing yourself as well. So to answer the breath work, I would say as required, right? There's no, sometimes I could be doing it 3 times a day, right? But the fact of the matter,
I've seen me doing, well, a couple of times anyway, I've seen me doing it because I enjoy it so much.
So as required, right? But then the cold water therapy, I spoke to Aunt Middleton about this, and Aunt's actually saying, something that's not really that good for you to be doing this every day. So he says to me, actually, he thinks once a week. So of course, I emailed the Wim Hof Academy and I said, right, Aunt Middleton says to me that he thinks that the cold water therapy is beneficial, say once a week, right? The Wim Hof get back to me and says it has been proven so far as an antidepressant for all the chemicals I'm not going to try and pronounce, that the evidence is there for, say, every 6 days.
Right, okay. I mean, Andrew Huberman said his study showed that 11 minutes a week was kind of the optimum.
Yeah.
And then you get the law of diminishing returns after that. So I just personally like going in every day because it makes me feel better that day. I don't stay in too long, but I just like going in the water every day. I like getting.
But that's your routine. So that's like your routine as well. So that's like, right, okay, let's have a good day, Gemma. Right, we're going to get up and we're going to have a healthy breakfast. We're going to only have 1 coffee today. We're going to try not to eat sugar, so incorporate into that day. Now, what's been happening just now is I've just moved to Glasgow. And I'm not a morning person, but on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I've been going for a boxing workout at 6:30.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So when I finish my boxing workout, I've been coming back and I really prefer to get into the cold water, just going down like this, not getting into a bath like that, right? And I'm too big for the bath. So what happens is I've been coming in, no excuses, from my boxing class, right? My body's cooled down because it's about 10 minutes between my boxing club and my new house. And then I've just been getting into the bath. I've been settling the bottom half of my body into the cold water. And then I've been turning round because it's the only way I can get into my neck and into my vagus. And I've been doing that part of my bath. And I've just said, no excuses. Glasgow, I've got no waterfalls. I've got no sea. And on my terrace, I think, right, the temperature's too hot for my cold tub just now. I've not got an ice machine, so come on. So just now, I am 100%. Every time I go to my boxing, I've just made that into my routine. So I'm up, boxing 6:30 to 7:30, cold bath, and then my breakfast. And then I've been having a more productive day. I've been having a more positive day, and I feel actually really better. Like, that's not even good English, but I feel much better when I'm starting my day off like that. But when that alarm goes off, I'll tell you, I'm like, but that's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm doing the therapy and I'm doing the breath work. I'm not lying down doing it before the boxing, but I'm getting a wee couple of quick rounds in on the way down.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we all know there's a whole psychological part. If you do that, get up and do everything that you should do, right? You feel like it makes you feel better knowing that you're making better choices, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's no doubt of that. Do you know, I've never actually thought about using the bath here because quite often in the morning the tide's a way out, and then I put my clothes on, and then sometimes I can't be bothered taking them back off to put them back on again.
Well, Lilia, I'm not going to do a live from the bath, right? But I've just said to myself, no excuses, because when I was in Troon, I had the sea, I had the beach, and I had the waterfalls. Whereas I'm in Glasgow and I'm thinking, right, really, where's the waterfall? Where's the beach? until I get the cold tub on the terrace, then I'm going to have to be doing that, and that's it. So at the moment, and I'm actually finding that that's really good, because when we finish the boxing, they don't do a cool down. So that means I've got no joint pain, I've got no pains. So I'm seeing this as my cool down as well, and also the repair of all the muscles and things like that from the workout, because it is rather intense. So I've just been putting it into my day. So answering the question, breath work as required. No rhyme or reason. In fact, sometimes if you can't sleep, it's quite good to get a few rounds in, right?
Yeah.
The cold water therapy as required, but the evidence that Wim Hof Academy have come back to say to me is 6 days, and the commitment and the mindset is a never-ending story. I don't see a finish line. I don't ever think that I'm going to wake up and I'm going, right, I've arrived.
No,
I think it's just that. I think it's just a commitment. And on that note, right, on that note, I had a participant come to my class on Sunday, and she was 78.
Brilliant.
2 hip replacements, 1 knee replacement. And I thought to myself, if I can get her, I didn't have my big pool because it's too hot just now and the water's coming out too hot. But in my head, I had already done my risk assessment. And I thought, right, if I can get her up to her waist in this tub and even just work with the bottom half of her just now, then this is going to be so good for her 2 hips and her knee. Well, she watched everybody else going in. She watched everybody else going down. And then she just got in and just went straight down. And I'm like, on yourself, right? Now, when she was going in, there was 2 of us gave us a wee help in because she's got these 2 hips and the knee. And I'm thinking, right, there can't be an emergency. Right. That's all I'm thinking. So after a couple of minutes in the tub, she was wanting to stay in there longer, that's natural. And then, honestly, I think she bounced out the tub. She was doing her horse dance. She was on top of the world. And I could have burst out crying. And I thought, that's amazing. And actually, I'll probably just go and check in with her after this call, because she sent me a message that night to say that she's never felt better in her life.
Well, you can't really ask much more than that, can you?
So 78, straight down, straight in. Honestly, I just couldn't believe it. And it was more when she was going into when she came out. She came out like Superman, Superwoman, whatever. And she was quite like, she was like, I was obviously, I'm then going to tell her she's to do the horse dance. And she was like, what? And she was actually running around the grass. And I'm like, oh, where's her stick? So she said that she's never felt adrenaline like that. And I'm like, right, okay. She did do her breath work. She done her breath work seated, actually, because she didn't feel comfortable enough to get down to do her breath work on the mat. So I just had her stay seated. But she said she's coming to the next class and she's going to try and get on the floor. And I'm like, right, maybe I might do the cold water therapy, then the breath work, then back to the cold. I don't know. But if I can make a difference like that to somebody that's 78, well, that's my heart's on fire.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes it all worthwhile, isn't it? So listen, let's talk about the festival. So we've got Aberfeldy beginning in September. Then we have Nairn, and then we have Strontian. So same deal. That's how we finished off the festivals. 2:00. We'll do the Wim Hof breathing, and then we'll go into in Aberfeldy. We've got the River Tay just there. And Nairn, obviously, we've got the sea right there. And in Strontian, we've got the sea right there as well. So it's pretty perfect. And it's going to be a bit easier because it's September, right? It's not going to be quite as brutal as it often can be, certainly in Skye and Tarbert when we're doing it the kind of the other side of winter. But so it's a really good opportunity for people to come and try if they're scared of the cold. And, I think a lot of people say to me, if I wasn't in a group, I wouldn't have done it. So I think, if you are a little bit scared about taking part, the festival's a great way. You're going to have plenty of people there for encouragement. You're just going to do it and you're going to get that high. Like at 78, that woman can get it then. It's there for the taking, isn't it? And
I would absolutely love her to feel the vibration of a festival, because thinking about the festivals, it's not just that. You're actually meeting so many friends, so many connections, and these are lifelong connections. I mean, for example, I ended up having Juliet coming down to do a workshop in Troon.
Yes.
I met Sash, and I've got a lifelong friendship with Sash. And it's not just about, our own journeys, it's about the people that we have to meet on the journeys. And I really enjoyed doing the kirtan singing?
Yes.
I mean, that was really, how do I pronounce that, Lilia?
Kirtan.
Kirtan. Right, so see the likes of, for example, I get really nervous before I lead these amazing workshops. And last time when I was in Skye, I just remember doing all that chanting and then singing, and I was away. My brain waves were so happy, and then it felt as if we just took the vibration. So it's about the full vibration of the full weekend. In fact, it's the icing on the cake to just complete the perfect weekend of all the healers and all the energies and all the new friends that we've not met yet.
Well, this is the thing. In the Kirtan, they're going to be at Aberfeldy and Nairn as well, which is great.
Oh, brilliant.
And they're going to be coming on just before you. So you're going to have that experience.
Oh, so brilliant.
That's incredible. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's so much to, as they say, it's like a buffet for healing. And what we're seeing now is obviously people are making new friendships.
Yeah.
And people are finding new partners.
Oh.
Not that it's a dating site, but there's a couple of people that I've met, and connected that way. And also we're seeing business to business. We're seeing businesses working together and collaborating. And that's really what it's all about. Because as we know, it's all about the collaborations, sharing each other's networks and bringing, like I was saying to you earlier on, I think humans are like a circus. There's just so much diversity. And not everybody suits everybody. We need all different variations. There's over 5 million people in Scotland that need to be taught how to breathe. We need loads of different breathworks out there. It's time. It's time for people to move out of suffering, because we've suffered enough.
The thing is, I'm going to just go over this again. You can't beat the festival feeling. Just full stop. It's just the vibration's just so high, and the more people, like I've got a man had said to me, Gemma, he's wanting to have a taster session. He's saying, how many people would you like? And I'm wanting to say like 40, right? But I thought, no, I'll just be safe and go with 8, right? But the fact of the matter is, no, it's the vibration, it's the power, it's the energy. Whether we believe it, whether we don't believe it, whether we can see it, we can feel it when it's there. So yeah, and I'm absolutely delighted that we'll all be chanting and singing, because if that's on before me, then that takes me away to a place and I'm already on the perfect vibration to get started, to lead and show and be that channel to guide you, and for everybody else just to actually have the perfect ending. So hopefully nobody runs off early and decides that they want to go home, because no, take that extra time just to completely seal that healing, seal it right in.
Yeah, sometimes people need to leave, but yeah, I mean, Aberfeldy is only an hour and a half from Glasgow, so it shouldn't be that big a drama. And you don't have dark nights or anything like that to contend with. There's snow, so it should be all good in the hood. Well, that's great. So, but anyway, I'm going to also, let's talk about your event that you've got, your Inspire event.
Can I just tell you about one thing first of all, though, Lilia? Right. So, my birthday's the 3rd of September. All right. So we've got the festival, which will be like my birthday weekend.
Yes.
Then I'm flying straight out on the Monday to be with Wim. So I'm going to be buzzing from the one festival, and then I'm flying straight back in to get to the other festival. So my vibration is going to be on point, right? For that. So I'm really, really buzzing, because I was I don't really like getting older. So I was dreading my birthday. So I just want to say that this is going to be my birthday. This is falling amazing in September. 2 weekends, and it's for my birthday as well. So yeah.
Happy days. Happy days. Now, but tell everybody about your Infinity Swim.
Okay, right. The thinking about this actually came from last year. And right, so first of all, it's called the infinite dip.
Infinite dip.
The infinite dip. Now, what happens is the thinking behind this is if you look at the branding and if you look at the logo, basically 8's got no beginning, 8's got no end, 8's a sign for infinity, so I turned it on its side, right? Then I put the 8 like a water, because just the water heals, it just heals, right? So that's it. Then I wanted to make it like superhero, I wanted to make it like a logo, and I wanted to make it, you know how like a coat of arms? So like a badge, I could see it all like, you know, superheroed up. So the infinite dip is going to be on behalf of Megan's Space, and Megan's Space is a charity in North Ayrshire. Now, the story goes that last year I was asked to lead a Wim Hof breathwork session in Fife. So, of course, I say yes to everything, right? Yes, yes, no problem. And when I was in Fife, I actually looked a little bit further into the charity, and the man was called Rob Copeland and his wife's Jenny Copeland, and they lost their daughter to suicide. And I thought, oh my God, that's really like, this is quite serious. So then I said to Rob, when we were in Fife last year, I says, Rob, are you not from Irvine? And he says, yes. I says, and I'm from Troon, right? Yeah, that's great, we're all in Fife. But what we've decided to do is create an event in North Ayrshire, which is Irvine. We're calling it the Infinite Dip. Every single penny goes to the Megan's Space. And what's happening for the Megan's Space is that we want to have conversations on the beach. We want to have healers on the beach. We want to just create something, whether it's for business or whether it's for everybody's got a story, everybody's lost somebody, everybody's struggling. But it just makes sense to make it in Irvine Beach. And at the time, I had no idea I was moving to Glasgow. So it just made a whole lot of sense. So it's on the 31st of August. And you'll be there, I'm sure. There. Yeah, I was just double checking. So I just want to make sure that on the 31st of August, we've got everybody set up along the beach doing whatever they want, right? From say 10:30 to say 11:30. Ideally, I'm going to manifest, right? I would like to manifest the drums and roses for me to make sure, because we love them, right? Now, I've been praying for this every day, but I would like to manifest some sort of amazing entertainment, and then collectively, as a team and as a tribe and as a network of just love, we all go into the sea at 12 o'clock. Now, that is going to be on behalf of Megan's Space, but I was also thinking, let's just take a minute for everybody to think about everything and just get into that water and just be as one. And that is the plan.
Fantastic. Okay. Great stuff. Well, we've got a lot of exciting things ahead then. Amazing.
I know. And what I want to say about Megan's Space is it works out really well actually with the media, because they've just opened a haven. And what's happening with the haven is there's maybe about 20 therapists who are paid there. And the police, the emergency services, and all the people that have got all the problems, instead of taking these kids and locking them up or doing whatever, they're taking them actually. So it's straight away a 24-hour hub of therapists and services that are available for 18 to 25-year-olds. So it's exciting news for Irvine, it's exciting news for North Ayrshire, and it's exciting to create that haven which Megan's Space have created. And hopefully we can create that through our healing centres or our mission or whatever the journey may be. But yeah, this is exciting. And the suggested donation, I hope you don't mind if I just say this, is the suggested donation would be £8. 8, why 8? 1, because it's August. It's also infinity. 8's got no beginning and 8's got no end. And we've got to remember that strength that we all have. And that is what I would like to create. And if anybody would like to, if anybody's watching this that would like to create something on the beach, if they could just reach out to me directly, then I can include them in the plan and on the beach plan for the day, so that we can have all the therapists and maybe sound baths and maybe whatever, you know, you can have a gazebo, you can have a stall, you can promote your own services, you can do hand massages, whatever.
Yeah, Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, darling, I'm going to let you go. And I will see you. I might actually see you if I'm in Glasgow. I'll give you a shout. I'm not quite sure. I've got a bit of a busy weekend again. And then, yeah. But if I've got any spare time, I'll give you a shout and we can hook up. Okay.
So what I would like to say on that is I'm still trying to create the Megan Space programme. So let's collectively make this programme fantastic, because we're going to hit August, and then before we know it, we're going to be there, and then we're going to be at the festivals, and then we're going to be away healing the world, Lilia. That's what we're doing.
Yep. Breathing the world. Well, thanks a million, and I'll
thank you.
Soon. If anybody's watching this on replay, if you've got any questions, just ping a message to either myself or Gemma, and we hope to see you at one of the festivals. 6 festivals in the next year. Yay!
Amen. Thank you so much.
Ciao, hon.
Right, thank you.